WNT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Connor James. Today is Saturday, August 10th. Well, last night a man was hit and killed by a car in Barberville. We now know the name of the man killed, 39-year-old Corey Allentine of Corona, California. This is video from the scene. Please tell us Time was walking in the southbound lanes of US 25 near the Save-A-Lot when he was hit by a pickup. He was then hit by another car traveling in another lane. Ty was pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported, and the incident is still under investigation. And a manhunt continues for an escaped inmate in Tennessee accused of killing a corrections administrator on the prison grounds before he took off Wednesday. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says 44-year-old Curtis Ray Watson is extremely dangerous and may have left the state. Watson had been serving a 15-year sentence for aggravated kidnapping. Officials say he worked at the prison as a farm laborer and escaped on a tractor. Watson is suspected of murdering 64-year-old Corrections Administrator Deborah Johnson in her home on prison grounds the morning he escaped. The reward for information leading to Watson's capture is now more than $52,000. And we're learning new information about the El Paso mass shooting. A detective says the suspect, Patrick Crisis, confessed after surrendering and said he was targeting Mexicans. He opened fire inside a Walmart last Saturday, killing 22 people. Police recently learned his mother called police weeks before the attack, saying she was concerned that he owned an assault rifle. But police say she had no fear of violence and was just worried about her son's lack of experience with the weapon. And President Donald Trump left for campaign fundraisers and a vacation at his New Jersey golf resort Friday morning, but he says he will continue to work to get new gun control measures passed. The president says Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is fully on board with the need for new measures. In a radio interview Thursday, McConnell says he has begun bipartisan talks to figure out which laws can actually pass a divided Congress.
Background checks and red flags would probably lead the discussion, but a lot of other things will come up as well. But what we can't do is fail to pass something.
But McConnell says nothing will be done until after the Senate's August recess, despite calls from Democrats to reconvene Congress now. A senior administration official says the president realizes he needs to back some form of gun control, even if the NRA is not on board. Now let's check in with meteorologist Kelly McShane for a look at your forecast this morning. Kelly, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. We finally made it to the weekend, and we finally made it to a nice stretch of sunshine ahead of us. Those temperatures starting us off on our Saturday morning, a little bit cooler, a little bit more north you go. You can see a colorful temperature map means a pretty hefty temperature trend. Those lower 60s up in Ashland, but mid 60s for some of us and upper 60s for a lot of us in the Cumberland Valley region. But overall, a pretty warm start to our Saturday, and satellite and radar showing really not too much to talk about. A few very, very light sprinkles into Tennessee, but overall we are clear here in the mountains, so it's off to a pretty dry start. However, we are seeing a little bit of fog out there this morning, less than 1 mile, less than 5 miles for a lot of us as well. So just be very careful on the roadways if you are traveling early on this morning. That fog should be here for another hour or two, so just be very careful for your Saturday morning. So we're going to give you a yellow car this morning because that fog could definitely be thick at times. And then for the afternoon, really not too much to worry about besides plenty of sunshine, and I'll have that full forecast in just a little bit, Connor.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, new details this morning about the Lincoln County deadly gas line explosion. From a report, we learned 3 pipelines run parallel in the area. The middle one ruptured, ignited, then exploded, sending 66 million cubic feet of natural gas hundreds of feet into the air. It caused a 50 feet long, 35 feet wide, 13-foot deep crater. The pipeline was built in 1942, making it 77 years old. The NTSB is investigating the cause. The report states that once the lines are allowed to be reopened and starting to move gas again, they will have to initially be run at 20% reduced pressure. Well, we followed the coal miner protests in Harlan County for nearly 2 weeks. Black Jewel went bankrupt, and coal miners have gone without pay for weeks. Another company, Copper Glow, is buying the mines. While that plays out, a group in Lexington is collecting school supplies for those families. Shelby Lofton talked to the organizers.
Instead of a bus carrying kids, It's a bus carrying items to kids.
Backpacks, paper, crayons, pencils, glue sticks.
Heritage Baptist Church members parked in the Myers lot to raise money and collect donations for students affected by the Black Jewel bankruptcy.
These people up there, they need help, and bad.
A lot of back pay not coming in, and people who have already gotten responsibilities and commitments and then not being able to do so and having to decide, do I buy this or to buy that?
After tragedy, we often hear about sending prayers and support, but Pastor Greg said his church likes to help out in a tangible way.
So they can actually concentrate on mathematics and spelling and English and not concentrate on, do I have to write on both sides of the paper because I've only got one ream? Can I fit all this stuff into my backpack, or do I have to carry it? Just let them be kids.
Terry Aldridge was inspired to organize a fundraiser after reading headlines about the miners. As a mother, she wants the kids to go to school without worrying.
Know what the kids are thinking. Where's it going to come from? Because they're old enough to know their families are doing without.
On Sunday, they'll bring their caravan of kindness to Harlan.
Everything bad that's happened within the last week, showing a little bit of kindness to our Commonwealth and just total strangers, that giving a little kindness is going to make a big difference for somebody.
Yeah.
Shelby Lofton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, if you happen to be in the Lexington area today, the Heritage Baptist Church bus will be parked in the Meyer parking lot in Hamburg from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, yesterday at the Knox County Sportsplex, a clothing giveaway is allowing families across the region to take home free clothes. The giveaway is providing clothes for all ages and sizes. Wendy Krause, a volunteer who traveled from New Mexico with her husband, says there is a reason they traveled the distance to help Eastern Kentuckians.
The people are just amazing. They're so sweet and so kind and so grateful for anything that you do for them.
More than 100 families stopped by the giveaway. If you did not make it today, it's still going on today at the Sportsplex from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. or until clothes are gone. And the new Knox County Detention Center is almost finished, and officials say it's long overdue. Overcrowding in the current jail has been a problem for many years, and a delay in the opening of the building has them even more anxious to move inmates into the new building. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to officials about what the new jail will mean for Knox County.
After Knox County jailer Larry Hammond's death, his wife, the current Knox County jailer, made it her mission to expand the jail as Larry wanted, which is an increasing necessity.
The jail's supposed to hold 35 inmates, but we have well over 220 to 240 county inmates, so we try to keep a little over 100 with us.
The rest of the county inmates are sent to 6 other jails, simply because there's not room for them. And this is due in part because the jail faces many of the same issues seen across the state.
There is a lot of different problems, but the opioid drug problem is the worst, and it's usually what touches a lot of the offenders.
County officials say the new facility will help both the inmates and the county.
We're going to expand on that program, work release as far as cleaning up our community, keeping weeds and intersections and stuff like that, mold.
But there is a short delay to finish the facility.
There's some sophisticated equipment that goes in the air damper system that has to be approved before there's a certificate of occupancy approved through the state.
Knowing what the new jail will bring and alleviate is making officials all the more ready to get inside. In Knox County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Crews say they expect to have the jail finished by the end of September. Well, more discussions yesterday over the future of the Pineville Community Hospital. Before city leaders went into closed session, Mayor Scott Maiden mentioned a potential investor allowed hospital services to start again after closing Wednesday evening. Maiden said they planned to discuss the legalities surrounding the hospital's current condition in closed session. We still have not heard what decisions, if any, were made during that special called meeting. The Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter has enacted its first euthanasia alert for dogs in 4 years. The shelter is running out of space. The space allows for 75 dogs, but currently they are housing nearly 130. Ellie Mullins, who works at the shelter, says euthanasia is the last step, but right now they don't have any room and there isn't enough workers for all of them.
They have to sit in their kennels. We clean each one, feed each one, and water each one. And then by that time, it's dark, time to go home, so they don't really get played with.
The animal shelter has several types of dogs right now, including pugs, German shepherds, Yorkies, and pit bulls. The shelter is asking for people interested in adopting a dog to come before Tuesday. Well, coming up on Mountain News this morning, state leaders in the deaf community are urging federal lawmakers to pass a bill to prevent more carbon monoxide deaths from keyless cars. And later we will check in with Jason Lindsay to see what he is working on for us in this morning's Hooked on Science segment.
We have a weekend full of sunshine on the way. I'll have a full look at the temperature trend and our next rain chance coming up next.